Okay, we're running out of time before you have to go to the shop, so a bottom screen here. So I'm just making a rough blueprint to cut out these parts where I need them. So let's see, on the Y, we're probably gonna have to go like -8. So that's not quite right. Let's try like a -4. So this is the code for these blueprints here, and I'm just kind of positioning these parts over where they need to be. So yeah, I do see you there. But yeah, I gotta get this going really quick because I have like maybe 15 minutes before I have to head out to the shop. So I gotta get this going quickly. LX minus maybe 22 might work. And then I don't know if we want to actually rotate that. Instead of -4, maybe a -2 might make more sense. Sure. So we're not going to be able to get 100% out of this scrap material, right? We're gonna end up losing some stuff. It almost looks like I might be able to get at one of these parts right here. I might be able to fit them in here if I'm clever about it. So we might want to, let's copy this for a second. And let's try to put it over there. So instead of -22 on the X, let's try like -10 for a second for this piece. And then maybe -8. And then we're going to need it staggered. So -8, -9. So it's staggered. And then we can, it looks like we can put it up 2 times. So instead of -2, we can just -0 here. And if we do that, does it fit in there? And indeed, it fits in there perfectly. Now, if we try to render this, we need to account for the edges there, right? So it's like it's almost perfect, but the edges are so close that we end up with a problem on our hands here, right? But that's essentially where we need the things, though. So this bat part here, we got that here. Let's try to put them in the order, right? So let's just say. So this is the bat parts, right? So let's just say, you know, bats, right? So this is the bats, and bat is just the name I gave the part. I know it's weird to call it a bat, but it's like these are weird abstract parts. So it's like, you know, I can't really just give it a meaningful name that isn't. If I want to give it a meaningful short name, I just have to make up something. So over here, let's just take this for a second. Instead of the -9, let's do like a +9 and see if that's roughly where it needs to be. Not exactly where it needs to be, so let's like plus maybe 5. Yeah, so that's kind of where I think I'd rather put it +6. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of +7. Sorry. Okay, so we got this part kind of in there. And then we want one more part that we can kind of cut in the scrap. And we're going to just plus maybe 14 to get it where that needs to be. Nope, not quite enough. 24? 24 is way too much. I'd say maybe 19. 19, there we go. Yeah, so now we got kind of the sheet where we're going to start cutting. We're going to start cutting these parts here. And we have a problem with we need to inset very slightly on some of these edges. I don't know which edges need to be accounted for here. But we know we have to do some type of adjustments to get everything to fit together on this sheet nicely. So we need some type of minor adjustments. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go File, Open, and we're going to open up the main folder here, so the main cbs.scat. We're going to open this up, and actually it's not going to be in cbs.scat. It's going to be in components, and it's not just going to be in components. It's going to be like cut. Actually, it might actually be in components. So let's go here and just look for com and bat. All right, let's just look for the word bat. No? So it might be in some type of sub namespace for specifically these bone things. So we have components, and then we should have like some things that are double namespace. Yeah, Bob boltbone.components. So if we look in here, I have some things called bat. So let's go find bat for a second. And so let's go com bat. And I want the main thing for this. Okay, so here we go. And we have a default. Okay, so we have some. We have a default configuration thing here. So CBS Bobcom bat, and it looks like it takes a rendering pack. So right here we were using this. We want to use actually this namespace, which may actually, and then figure out the rendering pack for this, right? So there should be a rendering pack for this that gives us the inset edges. So let's go look in here and look for, there should be a pack namespace for rendering packs. And one of these rendering pack, no configuration, render holes, render body, render peg holes, use inset cut hack, right? So this CBS render cutting sheet, right? So, and this is a pack for the cutting sheet, right? So these are constants for the cutting sheet, and these are rendering settings for the cutting sheet. So we want this rendering pack. So if we take this rendering pack and we put it in here, we can just say pack equals this, and then we can throw these in here, and I think things will be much better for us. It might still need some adjustment, but let's try to see what happens here. So these things also need to be changed. So I think this could be Bobcom, right? Yeah, and then we could throw these in here like this, and also give them a rendering pack. And the rendering pack is going to do the slight insets for the cutting sheet. Yeah, so there we go. So it's almost the same exact design, except there's a very, very slight inset on the parts, and that slight inset is going to allow us to put it all on one cutting sheet and get it going there. Okay, so now that we have this, we really want to put all of this stuff into one function here, and we're going to call this, you know, module, and the module name is going to be, I don't know what we're going to call the scrap sheet I have. So, module, we'll call it, it's roughly, module, it's like scrap sheet, it's scrap sheet 13 by 13.5, right? Like, that's kind of what it is. So scrap 13 by 13.5. So scrap sheet, so let's just call it this and say, you know, SS equals scrap sheet. Okay, and we're not going to worry about what kind of parts that cuts. We're just going to name it as scrap sheet, right? And then, okay, so now this module, we just want to, oh, also this needs to go inside that module. And then we're just going to call this module function over here. Okay, cool. So we have that right there. And the next thing is these bounds. We're going to throw these bounds in here. And then right here, we're going to say MP for micropoint. And this is going to just reinforce the bounds correctly. So MP in here. And so you notice that the bounding box went away. But if we zoom in really closely here, if we zoom in and we try to like really zoom in there really deep, like right here, should be in there somewhere. God, I can't even find it. Let's just do PT really quick. So let's call it PT instead of micropoint. And if we zoom in here, okay, so here's the micropoint, right? Now if we zoom in here, and we zoom in, and we zoom in, and we zoom in, and then we zoom in some more, and zoom in some more, okay? And then we call this MP for micropoint and save that. Okay, and then we try to render that. If we zoom out, it's a much, see, it's right there, it is there, right? But if we zoom out, it's just right there, right? It's almost invisible, and it's just there to enforce the correct bounds, so that when we rasterize this, or not rasterize this, but we turn it into a vector like this, we're ready to go. We got something to cut. It is 6:25. I gotta get out of here. So we're gonna file, and we're gonna export this. We're gonna export it as a SVG, and it's gonna be in Cough Tab Acrylic, and we're just gonna call it scrap sheet. We're gonna name it exactly named after the function call that's used to make it. So 13 by 13.5, 13p5 for 13.5, and then .svg, right? So we export that, and now that we have that exported, we also want to take a quick snippet of this snip tool, and we're going to just select this, right? And then we're going to file, save as, and we're going to put it into so UPAT folder. We got to go in the UPAT folder, and we got to go to the crate box, whatever thing, crate box shelves, and then right, we're gonna put it in the root here, right? We're gonna put it in the root here so that we can easily find it, and we're just gonna call it, you know, scrap sheet 13 by 13.5, right? So we're gonna name this image exactly the name of the function so that we can tie the image to the function, and we're going to put it in the root so that we can easily visually search through all of the files in the root to find exactly what we're looking for in case we come back to this a year later and we're like, we know we had this somewhere, but where the heck is it? Okay, so now that we have that, that's good. We're ready to roll with that, but we need to go into paint.net, and we need to modify this file so that it's ready for the laser cutter, so that we're not wasting any time once we get to the shop. It's just we get to the shop, and we're just ready to cut once we get into the shop. So crate box shelves, and then we're good. We have the scrap sheet. It's SS for scrap sheet, and let's just open this up. And here is our scrap sheet, except we were stupid here, and it's not paint.net that we want. We want Inkscape, right? So we want Inkscape, and wrong thing, right? We'll want Inkscape because we're cutting a vector, right? So so let's load this up. And was it a bat sheet I needed, or was it an axe sheet? Well, we're gonna find out later, aren't we? Let's not worry too much. We're already in too deep here. If we cut some parts that we didn't actually need, that's fine. We'll figure out a use for them later. So in crate box shelves, in the cutting for the coffee table, for the acrylic, we have this thing right here, this SVG folder, this SVG file. We're going to open this up, and we're going to move it over to where we need it, and then we got to get this ready for the shop. So we're going to take this, and all we got to do here is file, document properties. We want to confirm that we actually have the bounds that we think we have. So if we look at inches, 13 by 3.5, that is exactly what we expected. So we're good there. Let's close this, and let's close the alignment, and let's just select. We're going to select this whole thing, and we're going to go into the path, and we're going to go into object, fill and stroke is actually what we need, fill and stroke. And in our stroke style, we just got to change this to 0.001. Hit enter, and it may look like we don't have any lines, but that's just because they're very thin. And this is ready for the laser cutter. So we're going to file, and we're going to save this as, and we're going to save it as .ink, SVG, convert to ink.svg. So we converted it to ink, right? So to an Inkscape file, right? So we're going to save that, and then we're going to file save as, and we're going to save this as a PDF file. So a PDF file is the file type that the laser cutter needs for its drivers, and so we're just going to say, you know, ink ink to convert to PDF PDF, save that, and then OK. And there's one more thing we need to do. which is, it's about 6 passes that actually makes this work to cut this out. Like 6 passes is usually what'll get us a perfect cutout. So let's do that. Let's get the 6 passes. Let's close this without saving. And let's open this up, this SVG, one more time. Before we open this up, though, let's rename it, right? Because Inkscape is stupid with the file name extensions and doesn't recognize the uppercase extensions, so we'll change that really quick. And then we're going to open up this Inkscape SVG. So we're going to open with Inkscape, and we're going to create another file where we just duplicate the cutting path 6 times. This is a very hackish way to just make the cutting tool cut 6 times. So rather than increasing our power on the cutting tool, we're going to cut 6 times. And the reason for that is we get nice crisper lines if we just traverse over the cutting path multiple times at a very fast speed rather than traverse over the cutting path one time at a very slow speed. So we need to look at our layers. So let's see, layers, and all we're going to do is we're going to first of all, we're going to go Control A, and we're going to just cut that all out, right? Then we're going to make a new layer. We're going to call it L1, and then we're going to go Edit and Paste in Place, Control Alt V. So we're going to just paste that there, and then we're going to lock this layer, and we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to call it L2. Fine, add that, and then we're going to go Control Alt V for Paste in Place. And then we're going to lock and hide this, and then we're going to make a new layer, layer 3, add, and we're going to go Control Alt V, paste that there, and then we're going to lock and hide that, and then we're going to make another layer, layer 4, add, Control Alt V. Yes, this is very redundant and it sucks, but sometimes, you know, we code and we code and we code, but sometimes you just have to do things in a redundant way. You know, you wish you could reduce all friction in your process, but there's always going to be some level of friction. There's always going to be some kind of busy work that sucks, and that's why when you're an entry-level programmer or entry-level anything, you always get stuck on this stupid kind of busy work, because the people who really know what they're doing and are very experienced senior-level people, they're hiring you so they don't have to do this busy, simpleton work, right? But since I'm the only person working on this, I have to do this simpleton work. I can't hire anyone to do it for me. So, okay, that all looks like it's there. So we're gonna make sure these are all visible, and then we're going to File, and we're going to save this as, and we're going to give it this same name, but then we're going to name it as like a 6 times file, right? So so we're just going to name it 6t for 6 times. So underscore dot 6t for 6 times. And then dot SVG. And we're going to save that. And then once we have that saved, we're going to file save it as a PDF. So we're going to say file save as. We're going to export it to a PDF file. And now that we have a... I came up with 30, yeah. Shoot. Oh, hey. So, oh, sorry, I just saw you here. Yeah, if I start making money, but, yeah, I mean, yeah, Luncho, yeah. I mean, depending on what happens, like, yeah. I think SpongeBob is stronger than Goku. I have seen some of those memes, but give me a rundown on why you think that, and I will try my best to multitask while I do this. So save as PDF, and 6 times. Save that. Okay, so we got this ready for the laser cutter. So I'm going to close this, close without saving. We're going to clean up these file names. So Inkscape is kind of stupid with the capital file extensions that I like. I know, so this is .pdf, so save that. Oh, come on. Okay, so we have to rename it as PDF X whatever the heck. Change the extension, then we got to rename it again to capital PDF. There you go. And now I'm just going to make absolutely sure that this PDF file looks correct. SpongeBob can't feel pain, and he can regrow his limbs at any time. I mean, that's pretty... that is... I mean... I thought that would have been, that would be, the pink guy. Not Majin Buu, but, yeah. So this looks good. Looks ready to cut, right? We got this kind of laid out, ready to, cut our scrap material. So that means that I'm ready to get out of here. So I'm sorry that, like, you got some, like, interesting conversation going, but, like, I gotta get to the shop because I only have 2 hours on the machine. So, like, I have to, for 2 hours. So, yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. But yeah, I gotta go. Because I gotta get to the shop. I gotta cut that stuff. Actually, I'm not gonna go right now. I gotta plug in my USB drive and just upload that. But I am pretty much out of here. Like, I just gotta get some stuff ready to get. But yeah, it's 6:36 and my reservation is at 7, so I have to. Screen here, right? I'm just pulling onto my thumb drive. And then also what we might want to do, get status for a second. We might have stuff that we would know. We're good there. And then we also want to confirm it's in there. So we're going to go crate box shelves, and we're going to make sure that in the coffee table acrylic, we have the files we need on our thumb drive. So we've confirmed it's on our F drive. Yeah, that's the thumb drive. We're going to close this, and then also we're going to do cd ... and we're going to ls, and we're going to see that we should have like a, geez, there's more here than I thought. Where are we? We're in the R drive? That's not what I want to look at. This drive right here. So git, not this one. Where's my thumb drive? So this F drive right here. We're going to go into the Git folder, and we should have AAC 2020. It's been a long time since we have pulled from here. So I might want to just write, I don't have a compiler at the shop, but as I'm cutting stuff and waiting for stuff to cut, I might want to write some C code. So git status and git pull. So we're just going to do a git pull, and a lot of stuff should come down, and I'll confirm that everything's there, and then I got to get going. And let's see what we have over here in the chat. Hey, I gotta get going to the machine shop. I'll be back around 9 p.m. EST. Probably 9:30 more likely. I'll be around more at like about 9:30, but I have to get going. I got to get going to the shop because I have to cut these blueprints. So I'm sorry that I got like 4 people viewing, and unfortunately I just got to get going. So if you want to, I'll show you what I'm cutting right now. And I just got to make sure everything's in here. So my documentation, I should have like, okay, that looks good. So right now, in my utility patent folder, in my models, in the crate box shelves, in the cut folder for the coffee table, for the acrylic, I have this little blueprint, so let's just show you what that looks like really quick, and then I'm getting out of here. So I gotta cut these little parts. These are like some modular parts I patented, and I'm gonna use these to make a designer coffee table. So like a just a very fancy kind of industrial design coffee table that I want to sell for somewhere in the thousands is my target price, like a very expensive coffee table. It's taking me a month just to cut all these parts because there's so many little tiny modular parts. Just forget about that. Yeah, so I have to go. I must go. I gotta go. Okay, thanks for for your time zone so I can compare and figure out. Okay, yeah, so gotta go. Okay, so I am actually out of here. I'm just gonna put my shoes on, and then once I got my shoes on and I got my glasses on, I'm gonna end the stream. So I am sorry that I have to leave like this, but I gotta go. So I will. I also want to look into like an Ethernet cord because my connection down here is very bad. So hopefully I'll get like a better cord for internet. Like I'll try to wire I'll try to wire get an Ethernet cord to hardwire myself into the to the cable modem. But right now, because my streaming rate kind of sucks here. Yeah, thanks everyone, and here's my technical demos. In case somebody is new and hasn't seen my technical demos, I'm packing up. So I am unsafely ejecting. I am grabbing my thumb drive. I'm grabbing my utility belt, which is just a fancy way to say I have a purse with a measuring stick and all that kind of stuff you need at a shop. So I guess you could technically call it a tool belt. And okay, that's on my side. My thumb drive. Got my thumb drive. I got my glasses. Mask. I have a mask somewhere upstairs. Okay. I'm out of here. For real.